Hey everyone, I hope you're well. Today I'm going to be comparing the Vault and the R99 to determine which weapon is better in Season 7. I'll be comparing the things you'd expect, like the time to kill and recoil patterns, and then comparing stuff that really matters but people don't really think about, like the reload times, hipfire spread, and bullet velocity. There's never been two weapons that have felt so similar at first glance, but as you'll see once we take a closer look at the stats, each weapon has a distinct weapon profile that's useful in different scenarios. So which one of these SMGs will come out on top, and which one is the right choice for you? Let's find out. Let's first start with each weapon's damage profile and stats. Up close, these weapons look awfully similar. There are some differences in mag sizes here and there, and the most important thing, the R99 has less damage but a faster fire rate to make up for it. So how does that actually stack out in terms of raw damage and time to kill? Well, the R99, despite its lower damage per shot, deals out very slightly higher damage per second due to the faster fire rate. In terms of actual time to kill, the R99 still wins with body shots on both a 200 HP target and a 100 HP target. The difference is admittedly very small, but the difference is there. The R99 kills faster. But it's not just about that. There's so much more for each of these weapons that explains their potential use cases, so you're going to want to watch to learn more about where each of these weapons are best suited in Apex Legends. So what about the recoil? Well, the patterns are pretty similar. They both push upwards vertically at about the same pacing per shot, but at the top the Vault curves around in a question mark pattern, whilst the R99 goes horizontally back and forth. In real world performance, the Vault has the easier recoil, however, because of the slower fire rate. The R99 feels like it shoots up far faster because bullets are being chucked out at about 2.5 times faster than the Vault. This means the Vault has easier recoil to control, and as we'll learn later, this benefits in other ways and helps to create a clear weapon profile for the Vault. So what about the hipfire spread? Whilst SMGs don't have much movement penalty for aiming down sights, there still is some. You lose about 20 movement velocity by aiming down sights with both the Vault and R99, but sometimes just staying hipfire gives a better view of what's going on around you too, so it does have its uses. This is where the R99 vastly outperforms the Vault. I got the exact numbers from the game files, but if you test it for yourself, the real world performance matches up. The Vault is 2 to 3 times worse at hipfire when standing, running, and crouching. Both weapons have a similarly terrible spread when firing mid-air. We're starting to see pros and cons for both weapons that help to build their unique weapon profiles here. The R99 has a higher time to kill, better hipfire spread, and chucks out bullets faster, creating a very powerful close-ranged engagement tool. But the Vault has easier to control recoil, perhaps making it more suited for longer range engagements. To further send that theory home, let's take a look at the Vault's shining feature, because it's often overlooked. The Vault has far better bullet velocity, which means two things. One, the Vault's bullets travel about 10% faster than the R99's. At longer ranges, this is going to be more noticeable. It means you're going to be able to hit strafing targets more, it's going to be easier to track players, and lead your shots when players are moving across an open area at long range. This works better on long range engagement. And two, the Vault bullets drop through the air at a slower rate. As you can clearly see here, that bullet drop is noticeable even at a range of just 100 to 200 meters. So these features clearly make the Vault a far better longer range weapon. One final stat to look at before I create a good summary for you all is to look at reload times. The difference is so small that it's almost undistinguishable. I think that it goes in the Vault's favor, as you can see in this slowed down clip here, but it's really hard to say. So there we have it. The R99 is overall the far more effective weapon at closer ranges, and perhaps it deserves the winning spot overall for having faster time to kill and hipfire spread. If you want a weapon to push aggressively with, then the R99 is where to go. However, if you like to have more versatility in your SMG, the Vault is a great choice. The easier to control recoil, paired with a faster bullet velocity, make it effective at distances up to 200 meters. This is the kind of SMG you want a 2 times on, whilst the R99 you'd want to pair with a digital threat for up close engagement. Although if you are a master at recoil control, the R9 can do pretty well at longer range too, but the Vault would win in that case. So in a way, you should kind of treat the Vault like an assault rifle, except that it has far better movement when ADSing, and SMG-like properties to make it useful up close. So in closing, the R99 wins in pure stats, but the utility of the Vault cannot be forgotten. One final tip I'll give you is that you definitely don't want to be using both weapons for the same purpose. Let's say you run Vault and R99 and you use both of them up close for pushing fights. You'll subconsciously start to use the Vault like an R99 because you're using both weapons in the same scenarios. And that muscle memory you've built on the R99 recoil won't work on the Vault. You'll be pulling down too hard instead. So I'd try to stick with one weapon for each use case. Learn its recoil. Or alternatively, main the R99 and consider the Vault like a slightly shorter range R301 or flatline with great recoil control. Whilst the R99 kind of wins in stats, the longer range potential of the Vault gives it more versatility in the loadout you choose. Let's say you take an R9, but you also want a sniper or a shotgun. You're kind of a bit limited when it comes to the medium range engagements because the R9 recoil is just a bit too strong to control, the bullet travel time isn't too great, and you're going to be missing those shots long range, which is really bad. Sure, if you're a really good sniper shot, that's great, but you definitely miss out on that medium range potential. The Vault works really well both medium range and up to ranges of 200 meters, which is the kind of distance you'll really be using an assault rifle and in most cases a sniper anyway, which leave you to have basically whatever you want as a secondary weapon, whether it be a triple take, a charge rifle, a mastiff, a wingman, anything that may suit your use case but is a rather situational weapon. The Vault goes hand in hand with because the Vault is so versatile in terms of its engagement distances. Yes, of course the R9 still beats it in terms of pure time to kill, but it's not even that different. So yes, the Vault's very good, but you definitely don't want to be hip firing with the Vault, don't forget that, and you should probably try not to use the R9 long range. So yeah, there we have it. Another thing to think about is what's better. Is it better to pick up a Vault or an R9 at the start of the game? And what about late game? What's the better weapon then? Well, because the Vault does more damage per shot, typically all of that extra damage really does matter at the start of the game where ammo is short. The Vault is definitely the best choice at the beginning of the game. That extra time to kill really isn't going to matter that much. So if for some reason you have to choose between a Vault with hardly any ammo or an R9 with hardly any ammo, the Vault's probably going to be the better choice. Obviously during the mid game and early game stages, the open areas, especially in Olympus, may slightly favor the Vault a little bit more, but if you're good with the R9 recoil or just movement in general, that doesn't really matter. And then late game when the ring closes in and you've managed to stack up a lot of ammo and attachments, absolutely the R9 is the best choice then. Now, I would think about comparing other weapons with these two, but I think these two are the most comparable. The Alternator is definitely a low tier SMG. The time to kill is a lot higher on the Alternator than either of these, and the Prowler now being in the care package can't really be compared either. And then all of the other weapon classes, you know, they have their own unique pros and cons. They may have slightly less time to kill than these two weapons, but they may have longer range or better bullet travel time or something like that. So if you want to learn more about the weapons in Apex Legends, or you want me to compare different things, please let me know. Leave your feedback below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the comments. Cheerio!